Okay, here's our finished chicken tractor. Basically it's just a mobile chicken coop with an open bottom that lets the chickens peck and scratch like their natural instincts. We've had this thing built for about a month or so. Had pretty good success with it. I would tell you lots of different ways to do this. Went online and looked up chicken tractor plans. Most of them were just people trying to sell a e-booker or something like that. What I just did is I just got a bunch of 1x4s and 1x2 boards and just made a triangular shape, and then used a sheet of plywood, exterior grade plywood, and some chicken wire, and just made it up basically at the top of my head. If I was going to do this again though, I wouldn't use 1x boards. I'd use 2x4s and 2x6s. Thing just isn't really all that sturdy. Had some problems with splitting and the nails pulling out, which we fixed by adding some screws and stuff. Another thing that I added a little later was the wheels. It's not that heavy, and that's why I used the 1x4s and the 1x6s. However, putting wheels on there makes it a lot easier for me to pull around. The way this thing works is keep the chickens in there, and about once a week or so I pick it up and pull it to a new spot. I keep this thing open during the day so the chickens can free range. As a matter of fact, they're up there under the house right now. Cuts down on the bugs, cuts down on the feed. Inside there's no floor, it's just chicken wire. I've got some straw in the hen house portion, and then I've got a nesting box made out of an old milk crate with the front cut off. Come along to the other side, you've got that feeder trough and the water bucket that I made earlier. Took me a while to clean this thing off and get it hung at the right side. At the beginning I kept it hung. It wasn't hung quite high enough, and the chickens were roosting on the top of it, causing the water to get dirty. They don't eat a whole lot with this chicken tractor because they really love getting the bugs. You'll see, if I went up there, you'll see they probably got all sorts of little worms and stuff in there, in their mouths. You can see here, this is one of the spots where I've left the chicken tractor for about a week. They've scratched the grass up pretty good. Now with the work of the fertilizer and them scratching and aerating the soil, this is going to grow back pretty quickly. But you can see why you wouldn't want to keep a tractor in one spot for longer than a week or so. Well, you can see that there's a lot less chickens in here. We had our first casualties of war. A neighborhood dog came and killed about 4 of them. Unfortunately, killed the 4 biggest ones. So I guess it'll be a while before we get eggs again. I did learn some things, looked up some state law, and there is responsibility on the dog owner's part if they get in front of your they kill your livestock. But don't think I'm going to fight that. I'd rather not make war with the neighbors. But what it's going to cause us to do is make us a fence. So that's another project that we've got going. Another thing we learned is the little Yorkie Terrier, even though he's scared of the chickens, he's not scared of labs. He tried to fight the lab off and protect his chickens, but he didn't do very well. So I'm glad that we at least kept 4, even though a couple of them were pretty traumatized.